All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut SHOT Show short. And what we're doing now is I'm actually in Joshua Tree. But basically what happened was, if you've been to SHOT Show as many years as I have, then it's one of those that's kind of old. It's no big deal. So what we're going to do is I have a friend from California who's going to pick me up in Vegas, and we're going to head out. We're going to go to Balance Rock. We're going to camp out there overnight, and we're doing what they call overlanding. If you guys are not familiar with overlanding, what that is basically you have your sport utility vehicle. Usually it's a Jeep or a 4Runner or something like that, and you have all the creature comforts on it. Everything from a refrigerator to everything. And what we'll do is we'll do an overall review of the vehicle, and we're talking about a rig that's, you know, $80,000, $90,000, but basically has everything on it. But it's almost like being a gypsy. You can just kind of go wherever you want. It's really cool. You know, I've done a lot of adventure type stuff in my lifetime. You know, when I started the channel, I was actually going to do a lot more of it. And it kind of morphed into a gun channel. So, you know, I've traveled all over the world on a motorcycle, in Europe, you name it. Even adventures where I was gone for 30 days on a bike, living off the bike with no hotels or anything like that. Literally, everything's in the luggage pouch, living out of a tent, trying to make provisions, things like that, you know, like up in Newfoundland and places like that, Labrador. And so it's really cool to see this side of it. I'm not used to being able to carry the stuff that carries in overlanding, but it's a really cool adventure. So stick around. What we'll do is we're in Joshua Tree right now. I'll show you some of the sights and everything. Tomorrow we're headed over to Anza Borrego. We'll do some off-roading, do some camping out there, and then ultimately heading out to the coast of California for some other fun stuff. All right, SHOT Show was fun, but it is about time to get the heck out of SHOT Show. So I got John with WTFSoCal with me, and we are going to do some overlanding in the western part of the country. All right, day one of the overland adventures. We are in the middle of nowhere, and we are going to find us a campsite for the evening. Let's see how this goes. All right, so we are at Balance Rock. I don't think it's Balancing Rock. It's actually that one right there in the middle, and it's really balanced. Check it out. Drinking some Screwball. Peanut butter whiskey. What you doing, John?
I'm cutting some onions. Riveting, I'm sure. Make it on video.
Thursday morning, rise and shine. It's beautiful out here. Gonna go ahead and give you a little bit of panorama. Guys, there is nothing out here. The only thing we had was coyotes. Awesome time. If you've never done any overlanding, we'll give you the specs and features of all this stuff on this Jeep. It's an awesome setup. All right, so this is John, and we'll go over some of the specs on the vehicle. This is a 2018 Jeep Rubicon, JLUR, meaning it's got back doors. He also has electricity controller here, basically controls all the lights, the pods.
It's called an S-Pod.
It's called an S-Pod, and that is configurable with everything. No, it doesn't blink like that. That's just the frame rate while you're seeing that. So he has an iPad mounted here, which serves as kind of like an everything, almost like a classic cockpit in an airplane. And then we've got a dual band ham radio. John is a ham radio operator, and this thing has a ton of lights on it. I mean, at nighttime, guys, there are like 44 individual lights on this thing. Most of them LED. Just really cool layout. And in the back here, we've got like an attic, a basement, a refrigerator, power bank that controls it down in there. But really cool setup. We'll go over more of that. So at this point, we're dangerously low on gas. We've got like 40 miles left on the range, or 50 miles. We do have 4 gallons in the back, but that won't get us but about 40 miles. So we're coming up on this place called Roy's. It is the only place around. So yeah, this is like something out of the movies. Yeah, kind of old school, especially if you're like me and from the South of the United States. right, so guys, that's not snow. The white stuff you see over there is actually chloride. They actually mine chloride out here. A lot of these have water in them. It's actually really cool. All right, so we're in Joshua Tree, and you got jumbo rocks off in the background over there in the amphitheater. We found a pretty cool campsite here. It's actually really, really busy. But there's the setup there. So basically, this tent setup, this roof carried tent, has an insulated wall. It's thicker than any Four Seasons or anything like that. It's made by FSR. It's the High Country series. And this ladder and all that is all contained within it. And what we're gonna do now is deploy what they call the bat wing. So this bat wing comes out from the side and goes all the way around. Basically gives you a full canopy all the way around the back of the vehicle like this. So yeah, this is a pretty tricky setup. All right, so now we have the bat wing deployed. So you guys can see how that is. And basically it gives you coverage all the way around here. All right, guys, so this is John with WTFSoCal. He also has a YouTube channel that used to be called WTFSoCal, a lot of gun content and everything. But John, why don't you tell us a lot about this vehicle here and all the components and everything you've got on it?
Yeah, sure. It's a Jeep JLU Rubicon 2018. Got it August of 2018. And it's got about 20,000 miles on it. I've been driving it pretty hard. But since I got it, I've done a lot of modifications, specifically really to the electronics and to the suspension. So let's work from the back to the front. I have a LOD off-road tire carrier that's integral to the bumper. It's got a boom system that will retain the weight of the spare tire, and it's got gas tank carriers, as well as a little grocery basket.
So none of the weight's actually hanging off of the
exactly.
tailgate itself.
So yeah, you can see the boom in the corner there. Everything's hanging off the frame rail, actually. So it's very robust. It'll hold up to 350 pounds. So with the fuel, I mean, just the spare tire and the rim alone weighs almost 120 pounds. So you do have a lot of weight on there, and there's no way the door by itself would hold that much weight. And then speaking about the door, we have a front runner. It's kind of a cheapy table. They have other tables that they make. I can name a couple that are in excess of $450. I don't use it that often, so that one works fine.
Who makes the bumper there?
So yeah, this is the LOD off-road. I think it's called the Destroyer, and you can get it with just the bumper alone or with the tire carrier. I think the package is around $1,500 or so. The reason I bought it was it does have the plugs for the backup sensors.
Yep.
But I did disconnect those. I had a bumper previous to this, and I sold them. So one day I'll order the new set and get those installed. That's easy enough. So have a Dometic CFX 50 refrigerator on the Dometic slide that I installed. Makes it pretty easy. You can just get in and out of the fridge. It's got a locking mechanism that keeps the fridge from flopping around in the back while you're underway. And then the rear deck, it's kind of hard to see, but let's see here. Take a while for that to boot up. But yeah, the deck I built, it's just a piece of plywood that I carpeted. And there's a compartment underneath here that I still wanted access to. So this is like a compartment for a boat that I cut a hole and just mounted this in here so I can still access that area. It's great storage in there. And yeah, so there's that. Got an S-Pod HD switch up here with the Bantam. There's a Bantam controller, which is kind of like their top of the line brain, so to speak. It's also connected to another Bantam that's up underneath the hood. So I have 16 channels of switching that I can do, and I did a video on that actually on my YouTube channel at WTFSoCal, so if you're interested in that, check that out. Vector Off-Road grocery getter shelf is what they call it. And on that, I just kind of carry all the spillover, you know, basic stuff like toe straps, tree straps, first aid. Somebody needs Diet Coke, you know. Then you got the power tank. This is a 10-pound CO2 bottle that it'll refill my tires probably 4 full rounds, so I could do 16 fills, increasing the tire pressure about 15 pounds. So that's awesome because it's about 100 times faster than a regular conventional like ARB compressor. So you can also operate power tools off it as well, like pneumatic power tools.
Now you've done a lot of suspension work with this.
Yeah, I didn't do the suspension work, but currently I'm running a TerraFlex 4.5-inch lift with their long arm kit, running the IR Alpine arms and their 3.3 adjustable piggyback shocks. Whoops, I'm in your light.
Now, these lights, I noticed last night you've got a lot of lights. How many lights do you have total in this thing?
I think we counted 48.
Okay.
If you count the individual LED bulbs, there's 48 individual lenses. KC, just to plug them, they have been awesome to me, and they're an outstanding company. It's a bunch of young guys like us that are just really passionate about what they do, and they build incredibly great stuff. So
yeah, I remember KC's from way back
yeah,
in the day.
they've been around since
lighters and
yeah, they've been around since the 70s. So
I also noticed you're real big into like solar stuff. Don't you have like solar arrays that you can charge
so
pretty much everything?
I'll show you in the back. Excuse the mess. I have this Goal Zero. Let me move this out of the way. Whoa. So yeah, I have that. It's called the Goal Zero Yeti 1000. It's 1,000 milliwatt hours of power at my fingertips. It has an inverter as well as USB, and you can charge 110 or 12 volt. And I can run just a refrigerator off of that for probably 3 or 4 days, depends, like in this kind of weather. But I also have the ability to charge it either off the inverter in the car when we're underway, or I have a solar power, or a solar panel rather, that I can charge that while we're parked like this. It's been a popular thing in this park. Seems like we're getting a lot of questions about the Jeep. So anyway, just a hat tip to KC. They're an incredible company. If you guys ever think you need any kind of off-road lights, go talk to KC or ask me, and I can put you in contact with somebody great there. So yeah, there's that. I have the KC Pro 6 Gravity, and then the flex lights for the looking at the kind of the sides of the road to see what's going on over there. And then the amber color lights, those sees through dust a lot better than normal white light. It doesn't reflect, or refract rather. So you're able to see cleanly what's ahead of you without all that reflected light back in your face. So that's why I have those.
The rock slides. These are actually pretty cool. You gotta check this out.
All right,
this
so
is like super fast.
Yeah.
And they actually tuck up flush inside of here.
Yeah.
Now, these are true rock sliders. You could actually hit a rock.
They're made by Rockslide Engineering, and they do come with this extra, or no, they don't come with, it's an added option. You can kind of see there's a seam here. There's an extra, I think it's 3/16 metal plate that wraps up underneath, and that's really what gives it the durability and the kind of the armor, so to speak. So you can literally support all the weight of the Jeep on those rock slides. So they're awesome. That's a great addition.
Now, if you do get stuck, what do you have up here on the front?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I have it's a Schmitty-Bilt. I couldn't separate myself with $1,500 and buy a worn Platinum Series Xeon winch. I think I will one day, but at the time, I just got, you know, a basic Schmitty-Bilt, which is a great winch. It's just not as robust as the worn and proven. That goes with the Factor 55 Air Lead and the, I'm not sure what part number this is, but they're kind of hook for the front. So that's a great unit. And then the front bumper is a Poison Spider bruiser bumper. and then the shackles are just kind of there.
Steering stabilizer.
Yeah, I've got the Yeti Steer Smarts, drag link, and tie rod, and then the TerraFlex track bar.
Awesome. Well, it's definitely an impressive setup. You know, I did a lot of off-roading in my day. I had a Jeep that was similar to this, but nowhere near as kitted out as this one. But this is a nice setup. Really awesome.
I built it I'm paranoid by nature, and so when I go out in the middle of nowhere, like kind of like where we were last night and where we're going tomorrow, if I get there, I want no excuses to be stuck somewhere. So I try to overbuild that way. So it's just kind of an added safety, just to be safe.
Awesome. So if you had to estimate a rig like this, the way it's outfitted, probably 80 plus? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably 85-ish.
Well, John, I appreciate that overview of it. Like I said, very impressive vehicle. I feel safe traveling across the desert with it. So
I feel safe too. Thanks.
We'll pick up on it next time. Thanks, John.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Even out here in the Mojave, as hot as it gets, you can still see the wildlife. Mr. Jackrabbit. He won't last long. He will go in a hurry. He'll say, "What are you doing?" Jackrabbit's pretty dang tasty.
I need a phone.
That's how you do it.